And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Howdy folks, Darren back with you at Cross Timbers Farm. Welcome to 8th Day Chronicles. Glad to have you back with us today. Beautiful day. It's about midday. 85 degrees currently. Cut our hay in the main hay field. Second cutting yesterday evening. This will be our first tedding. We're getting it ted out within 24 hours. We waited this morning until the dew was off the hay. It's dry. Well, when I say dry, I'm talking about the dew had evaporated off, not the moisture content of the hay. Still very green, still very moist as far as moisture content goes. Stomatal openings on your leaves, and if you've never researched the stomatal openings on grass hays and the impact that has on the nutritional value of your hay, leaving your hay in swaths that a whole lot of hay mowers do. Hay binds, disc binds, lots of mowers push hay into, when they come out the back of those mowers, into a swath or a, leaving that hay bunched up and part of it in everything below that top layer in the shade, no sun on it, makes those grasses, those hay grasses, consume sugars and starches thinking it's dark, just like they do at night. When the sun goes down, and it gets dark all through the night, those cool season grasses feed on those sugars and starches, and those stomatal openings close so they can consume all that. During the day when the sun is out, the stomatal openings open to allow sunlight, moisture, all that good stuff. And the stomatal openings, from my understanding, I'm not a biology professor. I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. Those stomatal openings are on the underside of the leaves, and if you can get this cool season grasses, your hay grasses, spread out as soon as possible, and everything that I read and study from professors that's written on this topic and studied it extensively, within 24 hours is prime. Sooner the better, but within 24 hours. And it's been about 17 hours, something like that, since this was cut. So we're within that 24-hour range. We have got the tedder. It is a Rhino PT207 2-basket hay tedder. We've got it adjusted. We'll make a little bit of a lap around the field, and you can tell really quickly if your hay tedder is adjusted too low or not low enough. All you got to do is look behind you. If it's too low, you will hear those tines scraping into the sod. Not good. If you look behind you and you see in these windrow swaths or the hay laying, and you see hay behind you that's not getting kicked, if you look right down in behind your tractor and you see those tines coming around and you see hay left there that's not getting kicked, you know you need to adjust down a turn. So usually within 50 yards of tedding, you can tell that. So we'll start out and we will watch the tedder pretty intently and listen. You can hear it usually if it starts digging into the sod. And we'll make adjustments as necessary from that point. So the hay's looking really good. A lot more hay here than I thought there was. Even though yield is not our primary concern here on our farm, quantity is second behind quality. This is going to be some darn good hay. So come along with us. Let's get this spread out before it gets any later. We got beautiful sun today, a little bit of a breeze, good dry down weather. Let's hope this keeps on for the next several days. Here goes our first tedding. And as far as tedding goes, you can overdo tedding. I feel sometimes, especially if you have legumes in your hay. And we don't have a lot of legumes in this main hay field. Where we have been at battle with weed control, we have used herbicides. And a pet peeve of mine is you see people on Facebook Marketplace and advertisements for hay, at least in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. You see in the Southeast, you see people advertise spray-free, organic, weed-free hay. That should be a red flag to anybody buying hay. That somebody's exaggerating. In the Southeast, weeds are so predominant that if you don't use some kind of herbicide, your fields are going to be, eventually, if you're starting out with a brand new field and you've dissed and plowed and all that stuff, you might have weed-free hay for a season or two, then it's going to be gone. And even then, I'd say, weed-free? Really? No herbicide and you're saying it's weed-free. Okay. We used herbicide on our fields earlier in the spring when the weeds really started coming on, and after first cutting, we sprayed for summer weeds. And our hay is, I ain't gonna say weed-free because it's not. There's a few weeds in it, but this hay is darn close to weed-free. And it's been sprayed. Maybe out west somewhere you can get weed-free hay organically. Not here, in my opinion. Not here. If you got a different opinion, that's fine. But I'm just that's my opinion. Weed-free hay is non-existent here unless you use herbicides. So in any event, I don't. How did I get to running that rabbit? Let's get to tedding this hay. It's time to ted it. The longer we stand here and jab, and I run off to jaw, I'm losing time. The clock's ticking that I need to get these stomatal openings out into the sun. So let's get started. First tedding's done. This is some dang good hay. We got our fingers crossed we don't get any rain. About 85 degrees now, and we got a breeze blowing, which is fantastic. We hope we get this exact weather, plentiful sunshine and a breeze for the next 4 days, or at least 3 days. I sure hope we don't encounter what we did on the first cut on our test plot and here in the main hay field. When we raked this field, and before we raked the test plot, the wind, we had some pretty strong storm fronts come through that produced a lot of wind. Good grief, it created havoc on our windrows. And in our test plot especially, it blew every bit of our hay almost down the hill out of sight. It was terrible. But a breeze and 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts are two different things. We hope we keep a good breeze for the next several days. That really assists the dry down. And we got everything spread out and into the sun. We'll monitor this moisture content of this hay closely the next few days. We will only ted if the hay tells us it needs tedded. We'll come back out again tomorrow and inspect it. If we still have some hay under some places that needs kicked, we'll kick it. If not, we will leave it be until time to rake it. The hay will tell you when you need to ted it. And the weather will. If it was to happen, we just happen to get a shower or something like that. But other than that, if we remain sunny and breezy, we'll just let this hay do its thing. Our sweat equity is already in that hay. It's cut laying there. And we'll keep an eye on it. And if it needs tedding, it'll let us know. It's a beautiful day, an absolutely beautiful day. A little on the warm side, but nonetheless a beautiful day. We'll take this heat right now with this hay down. The PT207 tedder made by Rhino, worth every penny we paid for it. That's a fantastic little machine for small scale hay equipment, a small family farm. You see a whole lot of the big 4-basket tedders and things, and there's nothing wrong with that, but getting some of those big tedders and big hay rakes, things of that nature, into some of these smaller paddocks around some of these tighter areas is almost impossible. You can get this tractor, this Kubota L3200 4-wheel drive, this Rhino PT207 2-basket tedder, an inline wheel rake, or even a roller bar rake, and those little balers in places that you couldn't even think about getting some of this bigger equipment. We love this small scale haying equipment. Thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. We'll bring you back for raking and baling, hopefully in about 3 more days. We'll see what happens. We may rake one day, the 3rd day, and then bale the 4th. Of course, we can do it all in one day, but I'm the type of person, I don't like being in a hurry if I can help it. Feeling pressured to get it done before dark and all this, that, and the other. I like to take my time and be real careful with my hay. That's why, if I may put in a plug for something, to anybody that buys hay, take your time and find a small family farm, somebody that really takes an interest and they're passionate about their hay. They take extra steps, they do things that's time consuming, but that time and that sweat equity and all that hard work and attention to detail shows up in a bale of hay. That's why you need to find local hay. Your animals used to those pollens and minerals and everything that's around. They're already used to grazing on that in your pastures. Find local premium hay from a small family farm that somebody has taken great pains to make, and you've got the cream of the crop. That was a plug for all the small family farms out there. If it weren't for these small family farms all across our great nation, you'd see some bad things start developing. Support your local farmers. Come back with us as we rake and bale. Thank you for being with us. Thank you to our wonderful subscribers, all the great comments we get, all the great advice, all the great conversations. We really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider that and become part of our YouTube family here on the farm that visits the farm regularly through virtual visiting here through the YouTube channel and going with us through our hay processes. We really appreciate that. Hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when we upload new videos, and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it, and I pray that God blesses you and your family, and hope y'all have a fantastic day. Hey. No, not hay. Hey. Show that to your horses. I bet they go, yum, look at that. It's like touring a new restaurant.